No need to repeat what I just said. I think most of you understand it. So up until this week, we have been exploring harmonizing from bust line, waistline, and hip line, and using the safety energy locks that feature within these segments of the body. And we'll have a quick look how that might look. I'll share the screen. There's the segmentation in relation to energy locks that allow energy to descend and those that allow energy to ascend. I think we'd reached the high 1, 1, and 5 area last week. This week, we're going to look at 5, 6, and 7, the major safety energy locks on the feet. The 7 is the big toe, the 6 is the instep, and the 5 is the inside calcaneus or ankle underneath the calcaneus there. And usually I've been reminding folks that Mary would talk about releasing hip line area first because it provided an escape route for energy as it moves down the body. Well, as we reach the feet, depending on which way we want to look at the energy pathway, we can look at it from the supervisor, which would move through the 5, through the 6 to the 7. Victory, perfect life, power, number 7. Or we could look at it as 7 representing bust line, 6 waistline, and 5 representing hip line. As we really want to get the energy to go all the way down to the 7s, as you know, we talk about energy starting at the 4, moving over the head all the way down through the 15, and then to the 7 on the exhale, and then moving back up from the 7 through the 2 in the hip line, 15 and 2, all the way back up to the 4 on the inhale. We might as well begin on the 7 because we're beginning to direct the energy down. Now, I appreciate that not everybody is a yoga fanatic, yogini, or that flexible. I used to be, but sometimes grabbing hold of the big toe and the instep and the inside ankle there doesn't always come that easy. Need to drink more water. However, if you can do that, that's a good idea. If not, there are fingers that will harmonize these safety energy locks. And for harmonizing safety energy lock number 5, we have the index finger, left and right. And number 6, we have the middle finger, left and right. And number 7, we have the ring finger. All right. So these 3 fingers from index through middle and through ring. And what we'll do is the familiar sequence of the 36 breaths or 4 sets of 9 exhalation inhalations, either holding the energy locks on the body as demonstrated, 7 on the big toes, 6 on the instep, 5 under the heel, or we can hold index for 5, middle for 6, ring for 7. And then the last set of 9 exhalation inhalations, we will return to bust line, the spirit level, the thought level, from which the energy truthfully is moving. Our thoughts generally decide our words and our deeds. So we're going back to that level where the energy, as it were, is moving from, toward. Okay. I would use the same side foot, but you could use the opposite foot if you wanted to dash around, Yona. No rules about that. There's the same safety energy locks on the same parts, either side. So let us begin. So let us sit up as straight as we can. And if you need any kind of back support, you might want to put a cush underneath your tush, or just over the back of your seat there. And just feel the sense of slipping into a space of letting go, just melding with the energy and allowing all the stresses and strains that you might be feeling in your mind to be released. And we do that on the exhale. And as we exhale, as I said earlier, the energy moves from safety engine lock number 4 over the head, all the way down the front of the body to the 15 area in the hip, and then to those big toes. There it connects with the earth, and then it reverses and goes back up from the 7 big toe up to the hip line, the back here, safety energy lock number 2, all the way up the spine or the sides of the spine, all the way back up to the occiput or safety energy lock 2. As it's simpler or more comfortable for me, I'm going to choose to do these safety energy locks holding my fingers. And as I said at the beginning, I'm going to work on the principle of let's bring the energy down to the 7. So I'm going to begin with the 7, which can be harmonized with the ring finger. And when we're choosing fingers, it's a good idea, it's helpful to check the finger, the sides, the different segments of the fingers, which also subdivide into bust line, waistline, hip line, to see which one may be more sensitive, left or right, more tender. And then that would be the one I would choose to work with. Of course, neither one of them may be tender, great. Then I would suggest for new people, you can either go for the right side, which is where you are presently, or if you feel that you need to exhale more and then go more, go for the left finger. So let us begin, and stun all your cell phones. You know, you want to have as little distraction as possible when you're practicing any form of self-help. Ask your cat or dog to just sit quietly, pat them, feed them, whatever is required. And then just close your eyes gently and begin by holding either the ring finger or the big toe, left or right, Yona. Closing your eyes. And gently drop your shoulders, exhaling, and naturally allowing the body to relax. Maybe it'll help you to have the idea of your shoulders moving down as if you're in an elevator, sinking down, down, down through the hip line 15, arriving at the big toe, the 7, before you press the button and the elevator goes back up. So here we go. 9 exhalation inhalations. And just notice how the energy is flowing. Ideally, we want to become aware as it moves down and reaches the big toe, and feel that connection with the earth and the ground. And then naturally receive the breath. We don't take a breath. Allowing cosmic purified energy to draw in through the 7, up through the 15-2 area, and back up to safety engine at 4. Eight more times, and there's no specific way of breathing in terms of in through the nose, out through the mouth, or vice versa. Just do what comes natural to you, what is comfortable. And the idea is eventually you may sense, you may feel an energy pulse in either your big toe or the ring finger. That energy pulse is brought to your awareness through the blood pulse. It's the same pulse that you feel on the radial artery. That tells you that, number one, you're alive. Number two, the energy is flowing to where you wanted it to go. Just a cautionary note, don't feel tense if you're not feeling that pulse. Some people's channels are more open in certain ways, in certain places than others. It's not a competition. You just wait for the energy to signal to you in its own time. And of course, 36 breaths is not a limitation. You can carry on breathing beyond 36 breaths when you're practicing by yourself. Do as many sets of 9 as you like. Just that Mary Burmeister used this principle of 36 breaths to help us get a sense of energy as it was moving down, descending from subtler to grosser realms to create the form that we live in. Safety Energy Lock 7 is described as victory, perfect, life power. The energy has descended from the 4 all the way through the 15 to the 7, and yippee, you've arrived from heaven, the head, to earth, the feet. So that's a form of victory. When we don't completely breathe out and breathe in from the full length of our body, we might feel spacey, ungrounded, disconnected, undernourished. So see how you feel. And let any concerns, any stresses and strains just be washed down, just like water. The water element has a tendency to descend from high level to lower levels. So imagine you're just allowing all those stresses and strains to wash off of you down to the earth, where it can be absorbed and regenerated. And this in turn becomes the idea of the fire energy or the ascending energy moving up, the energy of regeneration, cosmic purified energy entering the body. And as we move through Safety Energy Lock 15, let us remember to wash our hearts with laughter. And as we ascend back to Safety Energy Lock 4, the window that lets in more light. And that's what I feel we all need and want. We want to shed more light into our life, radiate more light, live more lightly. And as the light moves through the body, down through the cellular level, it's feeding our cells. It's moving the matter and the energy. As the matter moves towards the center of the cell, we're building material. As it is released to the border of the cell, it's becoming energy. It's only when that matter becomes stuck that we find all the bigger labels begin to affect us. So we don't want to encourage being stuck. We want to let go in order to evolve and to grow, to expand our consciousness, to open our hearts more. JIN SHIN JYUTSU being an art of compassion, we think in terms of that connection with the heart. And as we reach the 9th exhalation, inhalation, we just slip into what I would call the neutral zone. If you like, it could be characterized as the description of the 9th depth, which is space, vacuum, more than no thing, just energy in a space. And just sit or stand if you're standing, or laying if you're laying down. Just marinate in that energy field. Notice how you're feeling, where you might be feeling sensations or not. And then let us move to the next harmony area, which is Safety Energy Lock number 6 in the instep, or the middle finger. You can hold the middle finger. And we'll begin another set of 9 exhalation inhalations. Let us begin, closing eyes, dropping shoulders. Bow head slightly if it feels comfortable. That will allow more energy, by the way, to come in through the 4. Just a gentle bow. And smiling will also open up the 4s, open up the 12s and the 4s through the sternocleidomastoid muscle there. And let that energy go all the way down through the 15 to the 7. And then 7, 15, stroke 2. Back to the 4. 8 more times. Safety Energy Lot 6 is all about balance. And of course, when our instep feels full, we often feel out of balance. As the energy moves down through the feet, from the 6 to the 7, notice whether you feel connected to the ground. We're moving energy from heaven to earth and earth to heaven. And remember that the earth is our support, a more material support, a more solid support. And energy needs to feel grounded in order for us to manifest what we need to manifest. Receive the cosmic purified energy as it spirals up the spine back to the floors. And energy moves in spirals in a positive clockwise direction, both descending and ascending. Letting go of any unnecessary thoughts, worries, anxieties, frustrations, maybe some sadness. Just have the intention to let it go. It's perfectly fine to experience all these emotions, but if we hold on to them for too long, they become crystallized and they become attitudes. And that blocks the fullness of life. It sets up resistance to the fullness of energy, the expansion, and we feel contracted then. I don't think we really want to feel that way. So just acknowledge how you feel and then let it go. On the inhale, feeding the cosmic purified energy, creating more space for us to drop in a potentially positive message. So if it helps you as you let go of a feeling and attitude that's not helping you or overwhelming you, maybe you can bring in a positive messages like flow or love or something like that. Just an idea to consider. Mary Burmeister was very keenly aware of the power of words. And she used to have a magazine from the Unity Church where they looked at the power of words. So Mary was very careful how she chose her words. And in the self-help book, she, on the left side of each page, she would describe thinking processes or words to describe our processes, our thoughts, highlighting the need to move towards positive thoughts, uplifting thoughts, harmonious thoughts. Because those are the thoughts that feed and nourish us. When we find that harmony within, you might wonder why we ever wallowed, if you like, or hung around, or swum in some kind of negative field. It's interesting. Whatever habit we've got into, we can transform it. And our finger helpers, our safety energy locks, our breath, all the tools that we have in safety in JIN SHIN JYUTSU can help us harmonize all those different habits that are not serving us. And as we come to the 9th exhalation, inhalation, by the way, you may have already arrived there. My metabolic rate is different to yours. It's okay, always slip into neutral and become your observer. Notice how you're feeling. And you'll know if you've really been letting go or it's been a challenge to let go and to receive something new. And that's okay. Just having in mind, in your heart, to practice until it's easy, that it flows, just to let go and receive. It's a lot to do with trust, I believe. So the third practice of 9 exhalation inhalations, we can either hold the index finger, left or right, or we can hold that safety energy lock 5 underneath the inside ankle bone at the base there. And 5 is really about letting go of fear as it sits on different pathways, liver, kidney, and spleen, but in particular, we think of it in terms of letting go of fears, breaking down what we no longer need, and receiving, perhaps you could say, courage, but definitely letting go of what Mary would call false energies appearing real. It's another word for that, illusion. Letting go of the illusions that the mind can concoct. It's very good at that. Just hold that finger or hold that energy lock and breathe out. Representing the hip line, the deeds quality, We want to move as much as we can fearlessly and harmoniously through our lives. Mary said fear actually takes millions more lives than any other kind of disharmony. Those illusions, those false evidences, just stops us from being creative and courageous. So breathe out, let them go. Trust. And as your consciousness expands on the inhale, maybe a good idea, a creative idea pops into your mind. A solution. As the more we relax, I believe, and let go, we connect more to our heart, which is where I understand we receive the messages from our soul, which is the bus line, the thought processes. I think most of us want to receive positive solar messages, soulful messages, compassion, joy, harmony. Receiving the cosmic purified energy, beautiful light, feeding us head to toe, skin to bone, regenerating, rebuilding, rejuvenating. The more we let go of what we don't need and bring in what we do, we create an expansive field around us, a vibrational field that is attractive to the things we actually really need. And as we reach the 9th exhalation, inhalation, holding the 5, again we slip into neutral and observe. Checking in on ourselves. How do we feel? Where do we feel? And again, avoid being anxious about, oh, I don't think I got to 9, or does this really work, or did I let go enough? You're on your own unique journey. Once you get an idea of the map, just realize it's not the territory It gives you some guidelines, which are on your own individual journey. And as you move through the territory, you may meet places in your body which don't feel as good as other places. That's okay. The breath will allow the light to come in and transform those areas. Maybe bit by bit, maybe straight away. It's all unique to you, the environment with which you live in, your external and internal environment, your thinking, your words, and your actions. Bust line, waistline, hip line. Okay, so the final set of 9 exhalations, inhalations. Let's give ourselves a hug. The thumbs going underneath the shoulder girdle and the fingers to the side of the shoulder blade. And this is the whole bust line area from where we begin to move the energy at the thought level, the soul level, the spirit level. And if we like, we can contemplate something positive as we let go of anything that we don't need on the exhale and breathe in cosmic purified energy. If it's tricky for you to hold both hands like this, take one away and place it on your thigh, the high one. Always be as comfortable as you can when you do these practices. Otherwise, you'll be distracted because you're uncomfortable. Each time you journey through the 36 or more breaths in those cycles of 9, just notice how have things, if they have, changed since you began the practice. Where in your body you might have noticed some resistance. And if you understand the placement of safety energy locks, the next time you do this kind of exercise by yourself, you could hold that area. Because wherever you hold will draw energy towards that area through your fingers, arms, back. We've been given this amazing body with this incredible nervous system and intelligence that knows how to harmonize us. We just have to surrender enough, trust enough, and receive these gifts of harmony. When we do the try to, the shoulds and the coulds and the perfectionist, we can end up blocking our flow. Don't square your head. I'm not looking for perfection. It's great, whatever happens. Just have the intention to let things go and receive in the new. So as you receive the 9th breath here, 9th inhalation, just relax. You can either stay in this posture or you can drop your hands into the groin to the 15s and see how you feel now, 36 breaths later. How are you feeling? So, if you want to mention anything in the chat room, I'll have a quick look just in case. As has been my habit of recent weeks, I like to, oh great Susan, good, you can breathe much better, yeah. It really is a good opportunity to practice breathing more powerfully. Some of you might even use diaphragmatic breathing where you're focusing much more on your diaphragm. As I said, there is no specific style, but whatever you do to enhance your breath, especially the exhale, that's great. Follow that, do that, follow your heart. So at this point in the journey, in the presentation, I'd like to invite anyone who's celebrating a birthday either today or this week, or maybe this month, unless they want to wait until it actually happens, or anyone who's got a particular project that they're working with and they'd like a little extra jumper cable energy from the group, because this is where we as a group connect to one another even more and serve others more focused, because we're going to bring them up if they'll let me. We're going to spotlight them. So is there anybody out there who would appreciate that kind of connection? Just wave or tell me, speak, or forever hold your peace. Yeah. Great, David. 36 breaths younger. Now, I know some of you do have projects. You're just not fessing up. It's okay. If you don't want to be spotlighted, I don't have to spotlight you. But it might be beneficial, and it might be beneficial if you'd like to receive some extra energy, to just raise your hand. I'd just like to see if there's anyone. Now, I don't want to pick on someone. I mean, that's not right. I don't want to point the finger. Let me know, somebody. Otherwise, we'll just... all right, Yona. If nobody is game, I'll do it, says Yona. Yona, do you want me to spotlight you? I never heard a word. Yona.
No, I don't want to be spotlighted.
Oh, okay. All right, folks. Well, Yona from New York is with us today. Thank you. And she's working with a particular project. She can either tell us or we'll just say she's working with a project, and we'd like to help her, if we can, to harmonize that project. Yeah? Everyone game for that? Good. So we don't need to know what it is. We just need to know that we're willing and happy to hold the hands, our hands, happy hands. This looks like the illustration on the front of Mary's book, Happy Hands. We've got the whole world in our hands. We can allow the jumper cable energy to come in, I believe, through the solar plexus, around the 12th thoracic vertebrae, up through our hands, through our fingers, through the palms. And it's kind of nice, I think, to feel that connection with the whole group. See how the thumbs and the index finger make a W? That's the world. And then the little finger is the heart. We're going to connect heart to heart. So imagine we're in this worldly, or this circle of life, connecting to each other. And then just gently have in your heart that you would like to offer the universal energy that will travel through you to Yona for harmonizing her particular project that she needs help with at this time. And the energy is coming through us. No need to force it. You just have that gentle intention to help Yona harmonize her project. Close your eyes, breathe out, drop your shoulders, and just imagine the jumper cable is going to wherever it needs to go. Probably at the etheric level, it's jumping out of your hands to Yona, placing wherever it needs to place, and offering her a harmonizing blessing. Here we go. Let us begin. And as we're allowing the universal energy to help harmonize Yona's project, we are receiving as well. We're receiving the purified energy too. So it's a two-way system. As you give, so you receive. And as much as possible, it's unconditional. We're not wanting to impress anybody, compete with anybody, prove anything. We're just allowing that energy that has the intelligence to help Yona. And those of you that practice JIN SHIN JYUTSU are probably aware that you feel when it's time to complete a treatment or withdraw your hands. It's almost as if the energy begins to slowly withdraw. And we can do that in our own time. And I like to bring my hands together in that prayer position and say thank you. One thing I was always very aware of, times I was privileged to see Mary working in the office there, and the occasion when I had a treatment or two, Mary would always end, at least the ones I had, with our hands held together in the prayer position, and she would often say, "Thank you, God." And God can be interpreted in many ways. Let's keep it simple, universal energy. The gratitude, I think, is important. For what we receive, may we be truly thankful, grateful. We get so much. Giving back is so important. So, as we draw to the conclusion of Harmonize to Energize, I just want to take a quick glimpse of what's going on the JIN SHIN JYUTSU website in terms of classes. Coming up on October the 14th, this is the only class I'm aware of at the moment that's being advertised, is certainly on this website, in Talent, Oregon, a special topic class being taught by Sarah, and the art of being a practitioner. And all the information is there on the homepage of www.JIN.Net. Here's all the information. The early bird has ended. Okay, so that's the standard rate. You can get some CEUs, NCBTMD. Your organizer is Debbie Rappaport. There's all her details there. And your co-organizer is Carrie Voorhees, and her information is there. And there's the button to register. All right, well, I'm just going to stop the recording.